So HBO's Velma, the Scooby-Doo sequel, just dropped, and yeah, it's as bad as everyone says it is. Now, if you don't know what Velma is, it's pretty much a Scooby-Doo like sequel kind of beat, and the whole point of it was it's supposed to be like an adult version of Scooby-Doo. So, you know, there's going to be adult jokes and, you know, things that are more suited for adults, and that was the whole selling point of this show. And you know what? I think when that original trailer dropped just a couple of months ago, we all knew it was going to be bad. We just didn't know how bad.
This is my story told my way.
Well, at least we didn't know how bad until just last week when it officially dropped, and oh my god, it is terrible. And I just wanted to remind you guys, if there's something terrible that comes out on HBO Watch, I'm not trying to gatekeep here, but please do not hate watch, because holy crap, HBO just said that Velma is one of their biggest opening shows on their entire streaming platform, and so it sounds like they think people actually like this show when people are just hate watching to see how bad it really is. And I gotta say, you know what, I don't think all good publicity is good publicity, because you know what, I think Velma is so bad that yeah, it might make them some money in the short term, but in the long term it's definitely gonna hurt their reputation. I mean, this you know what, HBO is starting to become the Netflix of TV shows, if you know what I'm saying. So the first episode starts off with like this plot where, you know, someone gets axed off, and they suppose it's supposed to be Fred, you know, that committed the crime. And so that's pretty much the whole setup of the show. You know, it's a somewhat interesting plot, but I mean, I don't know, it doesn't overly work for me. But you know what, they didn't really care too much about story or plot. Their more focused was on, you know, their humor of the show, and oh my god, the humor of the show does not work once. You know, only 18% of the people watching this video right now are actually subscribed to the channel. Don't be part of the 81%. Subscribe to the channel. You have nothing to lose. But there's this one joke where during the trial, Fred is like out in the rain, and some of his hair or makeup or something comes down and makes like a Hitler stash, and he puts his hand up, and it's supposed to be like, oh, haha, he looks like Hitler joke. And you know what, it almost started to work for me until they randomly just pointed it out that, hey, that's who he's supposed to be. You know what I mean? It's like,
this guy definitely said it best.
The writers instantly ruined the joke by having some random person shout it out loud for the audience.
Oh god, he looks like Hitler! And not just because we compare everyone to Hitler these days.
Then lastly, in regards to the humor, there's just so many almost objectively unfunny moments. Velma goes to check out what's on her dad's girlfriend's camera. Now, the possibilities could be endless for this joke, but Velma finds out that she takes pictures of babies and vegetables to make money. Like, okay?
Like, this is a show meant for adults, however, they're still pointing things out like it's meant for children. I really don't understand how, you know, the show is supposed to be made for adults, but they just point it out as if, I don't know, the audience, like you and me, can't infer anything. Like, obviously that's what it's supposed to be. I think anyone who knows anything about history knew exactly what that joke was supposed to mean, but they don't trust the viewer enough to make the assumption, and that definitely hurts because they continue to do that route throughout the entire show. Like, during this one scene, there's Shaggy, who is now black, and you know what, this whole show is kind of weird. You know, they did the whole diversity thing. They made like Velma is Indian and Shaggy's black, and Velma or Daphne is like Chinese or something, which I mean, I guess I'm okay with. I don't know, it's a little weird, you know. I don't know why they think changing the races of characters makes it more adult or something. I guess, I don't know, I don't understand the situation, but yeah, they made Shaggy black and they got rid of Scooby-Doo in the Scooby-Doo show. It's honestly kind of ridiculous. During one of the scenes, Shaggy is talking about how he doesn't like drugs, and then it goes, you know, he just looks at the camera and starts blinking. You know, it implies that he does like drugs.
Who did kill Brenda? I think it has something to do with drugs, which I hate.
And it's like, oh my god, can you imagine? You know what, I don't know what you guys do for work if you're watching this, but someone who's making like $60,000 a year to write this script at HBO, and it's some of the most, it's terrible. I mean, it's hard to believe anyone could get into this business when making just mediocre ass shows, you know what I mean? the mediocre writing is really what gets it down. I mean, this is a whole, you know, show that's supposed to be with adult themes and comedy. You know, those are the two biggest themes, and they don't trust their audience to make, you know, adult assumptions. And they also, just the writing's bad. You know what, none of the jokes land, and it's supposed to be a comedy show. It just does not work for me. And then during the first episode, Velma is like super ooey with you know, the jock guy got a Fred. Yeah, Fred. They're supposed to be like, you know, having a crush or something, even, which I didn't really get. I mean, I didn't see much payoff. And then in the very next episode, it's like it's completely unwritten. I mean, she ends up kissing Daphne or something. It just kind of feels out of place. I don't know. There's not much build up or anything. You know, there's a few very good things you have to land for a show to work. You know, either the writing or the plot or the humor, and it just fails on all of these. I mean, the plot is mediocre at best. I mean, they could have done it much better. I mean, imagine the whole series was like a murder mystery or something, you know. I don't know, them figuring it out, or maybe just like a plot, you know, a couple episodes of it, but they just immediately, I don't know, they downplay it, and like they don't set it up very good. So there goes the story aspect, and then the humor falls flat on almost every single example. I mean, literally, like I said, there was one time that got a small chuckle out of me, and then they immediately ruined it by pretty much telling you exactly what it already was. I don't know exactly know. It's pretty much like, if you've ever seen The Big Bang Theory, it's like a laugh track after a joke, you know what I mean? Like, it kind of ruins it, in my opinion, at least. It's just like, hey, laugh now. It's like I don't know. I don't understand why they thought that was a good idea. So they fail on the story, they fail on the humor, and what else, you know, like good character growth and good you know, storylines, you know, character development. They fail on that too, in my opinion. I mean, they don't really do any character growth for any of them. I mean, there's this one scene, like I said, where Fred is doing his like axe trial or whatever, and they try to say like, oh, he looks bad because, you know, he's looking like Hitler, and you know what, that does nothing for him, you know what I mean? It's kind of just there as a little gig, and it doesn't do any character development. You think something like that, like a big media push or whatever shown in the show during like a murder trial, would be a bigger part of the story, but no, it actually leads to nothing, and it doesn't do anything for the character. I mean, none of these characters have any development, so it fails on story, it fails on humor, and it fails on character development in any of the characters. I mean, right now, I don't think I like any of these, and I gotta say, it's hard to believe that this is one of HBO's biggest openings ever, because it's really not that good. But I mean, who knows, maybe I could be in the minority, maybe I'm a weirdo on this, maybe it's a good thing that a lot of people like. But you know what, I definitely think I'm in the large majority here, because it actually recently came out. Now obviously Rotten Tomatoes scores aren't exactly what you should be looking for 100% of the time, because obviously, you know, sometimes people like things that you don't like, or sometimes you like things that people don't like. You know, you shouldn't let that control how you view a show. However, HBO's Velma has one of the lowest rating audience scores in Rotten Tomatoes history. It's currently sitting at like a 7 or 8% out of 100. That is horrible. That is so bad. I mean, even the critics don't like it. It's at like a 5 out of 10. And so I definitely think this show is gonna flop, and you know what, it might be good for HBO in the short run, but for the long term, you know, people are going to not take HBO content seriously, and why would they after this monstrosity of a show? But that's just my thoughts. You can let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Yesterday we made a video about how Nikocado Avocado really messed up, and people are mad at him for abusing the copyright system. This is a video you're not going to want to miss. Click here to watch it now.